We grasp the information. I
Nice,
also
nice.
Go ahead.
watch a lot of videos on the topic. I prefer to watch videos than read the same information over and over. The visual helps me much better.
Angela, see? What strategy
Interesting.
works for you, Kayla?
Well, I try different strategies. I usually like read and recall every single time and try and get it right. And then I would watch videos on different topics and stuff and understand it a little better. Me, I usually study like last minute as well. Um, it's easier for me to remember things like the day before, 2 days before. I would also like write down main topics that I need to go over and work from there as well. And yeah, that's
And that works well for you.
Yes.
That's important.
It's interesting to hear the different
Yeah.
learning styles and the different approaches that each of these students have decided to use towards their success. Miguel, any thoughts on that?
Yes, so they all have different ways of getting the outcome that they desire, and I would say generally engage in some reflective, and this is to students everywhere, um, a reflective process of what works for you, right? In terms of study techniques, and Noah said it best in terms of having that drive. For me, what I took into my professional work and day to day is ensuring that I reflect every day. What happened to the T. When I wake up again, I do it again. Ensuring that the things that I want to accomplish personally and in different aspects of my life, that I'm addressing that. So whether it be biology and I don't want to rehash the number of subject awards and trophies that I saw at the St. Mary's Academy's graduation, and Noah, cling, cling, cling. Don't know how he did it. But getting the outcome, right, to get to that ultimate point of becoming the valedictorian, and in your case, Lizanne and Kayla salutatorian. So, yeah, just engage in a process of self-reflection and around good study habits, and get some advice. And it's good. And Nigel, to your point, yes, I do think we should look at the 15 or so high schools. I know we have representation here from 4, including Gideon. But we can find a way, I think, to bring the 15 high schools, right, together in that way where those connections are made. So in addition to recruitment, my day-to-day revolves around student engagement and community partnerships. The institution that I proudly work for now has over 100,000 students. It has 8 campuses, 2 outreach centers, physically, and a lot more partnerships in our local public school system in Miami and South Florida, with 100 plus high schools. And we have strategically placed advisors in all of those public schools to help us make those connections. So I think there's ways that we can collaborate with with the principals and deputy principals and the counselors, really, for those schools that have it, to begin to make those connections. Or maybe it exists in 1 or 2 schools, and we need to bring that to the
Well,
forefront.
yeah, and I agree. But there's a lot of collaboration in several aspects, obviously, like sports. So when you have sporting activities, competitions among various schools. So that happens in netball, in volleyball, and other sports as well. When there are school debates as well going on, so that happens. So there are areas where students converge. But yes, I understand, and I accept the need, for even more collaboration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Would
Nigel.
you
So
would
go ahead.
you would you would you describe your school days as happy days? You often hear people school days were happy days. Would you say your school days were happy days, or would you say they were tough days, or would you say they were nervous days? How would you describe your school days?
Extremely happy days. When I look at experiences or compare the experiences of students who attend high school in the area that I reside in, South Florida, and programs that exist that focus on the development of young men or young women, and I look back and think of spending 5 years with some of my, you know, the friends that I gained from high school are my friends today. My trusted friends, Cosmos Bain, Yoni Rivera, these are, Oren Jolly. These are gentlemen who join me, in every aspect of life. So I would say friendship, trusted, friends, confidants. That's what I gained from the 5 years. And I mentioned two of them, but I have a list, of all my classmates that I kept.
Wow.
Gavin Charles, Marvin Charles, and I know exactly where they are across the world. And it started, and I want to say too, just the alumni movement, that we're seeing evolving and becoming. We're getting very great at it, to be honest. It was hard for me. That part was hard because when I transitioned from high school, like Noah graduated yesterday, within a few days I was, on a plane and to Miami to begin college, because my family resided there. So with that brotherhood, that network that I got, that has carried me for really the next 30 years. In terms of mentors, I mean, the ones that are still there bring great joy to me. Mrs. Desiree Joseph Elwin taught me, and my classmates when she first became a teacher in the early 90s. And this week, working out of the St. Mary's Academy to support not just graduation but other initiatives, Mrs. Elwin allowed me to, reside in her space and used the facilities to be able to accomplish some of the goals that we set forth for this week. So also Mr. Daly, Mr. Stephen Daly, Mrs. Heather Toulon, Mrs. Santilia, Brother Jermaine was my principal for the 5 years that I was there, and having still maintained those levels of connections, both in South Florida with him, and he also joined us in yesterday's ceremonies. Those, I think I could go back and say those were happy days. I learned ping pong, table tennis, basketball. That's where I played most of my sports, and I resided in Maho, and would come back after school to join my classmates to study in the wee hours of the night, most afternoons after school. And so those experiences again, I carry and have carried with me through, among many others. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Noah, would you?
Let me
What
tell you,
about you, Noah?
bakes and cheese. Yes, I make that too. So I learned that from there. Noah, go ahead.
What about you, Noah? Would you say? Well, how would you describe? Was it happy days, school days, or happy days?
I think it
Although you've
was.
just left, but
I think it was a little bit of everything. It had all that you could really want from a school experience, and I think the friends that I made there, I'll definitely keep some of them. We share a lot of memories together.
and Lizanne.
I agree. It was a mix. That highs, that lows. But I think the good outweighed the bad because in the end, majority of us graduated, and we came out with lessons, not just from the classroom but outside, that we can use in life. And we formed great friendships. Majority of my friends now, I did not have them um, before I went to the convent high school. So I'm really grateful for that. With the clubs, it helped me in so many ways to balance my social life, school life, commitments, and helped me to become a better leader, a better person, helped me to listen to others and take advice, take ideas, and that collaboration, I feel like is very important and it can be very useful in life. So I'm grateful for the overall experience.
Very interesting. Jill, I'm just looking at the live as well. I mean, we had a lot more viewers on Facebook. I guess they would have gone to YouTube. But let me just say that we are back on. We have been back on for a while. We had a little challenge, but we are back on Facebook. And we are speaking with salutatorian of the Dominica Grammar School, who is Miss Kayla Sylvester. And we also have as our guest in studio, we have Noah Sorrendo, who copped so many awards yesterday at the St. Mary's Academy graduation ceremony. We have Lizanne Coffey. She too captured so many awards. And and Gideon Bello, he's not in with us. We heard his voice clip he sent. He is the valedictorian of the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School. Obviously, we could not have all the secondary schools on one program. So we decided to start with this. But it's really a pleasure to connect with them, Nigel, to really get a sense of how school life is. But I also want to get a little sense of like where they are from, I want to get that sense of how far they have to travel to school and things like that, Nigel, on a more personal note.
Yes. We always love to have the backstory,
Yeah. So
Yes.
Noah, you tell us.
Yes, so I live in Morne Prosper, and it's 7-8 minute drive to school every morning.
Very cool, right? Morne Prosper.
Yes.
Okay. And you like the area? Or you're more an inside person.
I like Morne Prosper, especially for that reason which you mentioned. It's cool, a lot cooler than a lot of the places in Dominica, and I am more of an inside person, but I still like the mountainous experience.
And then you have to come to school and you're in a classroom and it's very hot. But then you have paradise to return to, so that's good. What about you, Lizanne?
I live in Maho. I lived in Maho for my whole high school life. It's just a 15-minute drive without traffic. So I had to leave early, very early, to avoid the traffic. With the traffic, it's about like 30 to 45 minutes, which can be a task to get to school on time. So I had to leave before to beat the traffic.
And school starts at what? 7:45 or
10 to 8.
10 to 8. Okay. Yes. What about you, Kayla?
Well, I live in Glasgow, Funkole. It's a very quiet community. I'm mostly surrounded by family and friends. Yeah.
So you have to leave early to get to school as well, because normally the traffic is very tight on that.
Yes, I used to get an early bus that used to wait for children. So I would reach town on time.
Yes, Nigel. See, we had to.
One of the things you always mention, everyone, is that we always say the community plays such an important part, in your overall development and so on. So, in the different communities that you mentioned you're from, apart from your family and so on, did you guys feel like you had the support of the community behind you, or was it just my little family in the corner doing its own thing? What about the community spirits in the different villages that you reside? What was it like? I can start with Noah. In terms of Morne Prosper, I mean, what's the community life like there, and were they involved in any way in helping to get you to where you are today and so on?
Okay, so I'm not very community oriented. We mainly just stayed in our own little place doing our thing. But I have met many members of the Morne Prosper community, and they're a good bunch.
Interesting.
What about you, Lisa?
I am very much an inside person, so I don't.
What's going on in this inside people? What's
But
You see the difference,
however,
Nigel? You see the difference before?
however,
Mm.
I did have the support of my close neighbors,
Okay.
so they always encourage me throughout my whole school life. Actually, I've lived in Maho for majority of my life, so from primary school all the way up to high school, those um close to where I live have always supported me, encouraged me, and that also played a part in where I am today.
Similar sentiments
Fokole?
from you, Kayla?
Oh, well, most of my support came from my family, mostly my parents and my siblings, and that helped me to be encouraged and to move forward in my high school years. So, yeah.
So you're more an inside person as well?
Yes, me,
See,
and me
Nigel,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Miguel, don't
Yeah.
tell me you're inside person too, because
Yeah,
everybody
you
there's
know,
inside people.
well, Lizanne reminded me how long it took to get from Maho to town. I was trying to remember. Um, but yes, no, I was inside during my time, and I think it's very, very similar to you. Close neighborhoods, neighbors. Those are the folks that, when I visit, I first go to meet. And there's the village, but there's those from the church, and those who stepped in to help with homework or to provide lunch and dinner, and
Mm.
uh, I go to see them all, and I I don't need an appointment. I just knock,
Yes.
and they say, "Who's it?" Miguel, and that's the next 2 hours at least, just catching up and stuff.
But
But
Nigel, you see, things have changed. A lot has changed.
It has. It has.
In my days, a village helped to raise me. The community, the yard helped to raise me. I was not an inside child, although I was shy. But we had, as soon as you come from school, it was just like go and play and just go all around and come back at home, in the night. So it was different for us, obviously. But interesting, Nigel. When you look at,
Yes. Interesting in
how,
terms of what the different dynamics that we
yeah,
have now.
yeah.
You know, um, Noah. Yesterday, every 2 minutes or 3 minutes, you will hear an award for so and no, and then award for so no one, award for so no one. How did you feel about all this?
I felt really proud of my accomplishments. I'm mainly just glad that it's finally over. But yeah, I also like that they give a lot of prizes. It gives every student a chance to shine, to get something. So that's something I really appreciated about that.
That's one of the things that I liked about yesterday's ceremony as well, was the fact that there were so many different categories, so that it wasn't just academics or sports or anything. It had improved, it had perseverance, it had dedication, and so on and so forth. You were able to carry all those trophies with you, or you had to get the family to assist?
We had to split them between cars.
Yeah, I can imagine.
What about you, Lisa?
Wow.
Because you copped a number of awards as well. I mean, how did you feel at the time?
I agree. It was a very proud moment. It's very nice to see at the end of your journey, after all the work that you put in, you alone not know the struggles, the efforts, the time, the sacrifices it took to get to where you are. So at the end of your high school journey, it's pleasing to know that you get rewarded for your hard work.
So you two had moments where you had to just stay one place.
Yes.
It would not make sense to go back to your seats, right?
Well, with
Yeah.
convents, they give you everything at the same time, so you don't have to go back
Yeah.
and forth each time.
Yeah. So the salutatorian of the Dominica Grammar School, Kayla Sylvester.
Yes, Caleb.
What about you? Of course, you received a few awards at the graduation ceremony, for different things, of course, subject prizes and other things. How did you feel on that day? Just like, being rewarded, sort of, receiving awards at a ceremony of that nature?
Well, it felt exciting. I was happy that all my hard work paid off. Um, I really enjoyed the highlight of being on the stage and collecting different awards for different things. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if I gave Kayla an award, Nigel. I think so, Did you receive an
Yes, we'll
award
go
for
back in.
English?
For English, no.
Oh, okay, so he's the valedictorian. Okay. All right. But yes, Kayla really represented the school. In fact, Nigel, talking about represented, and I mentioned this earlier in terms of the graduation ceremonies and the pomp and the circumstance and all the flair and all the that is part of this. And to see students know how they come in. I was also looking at the Northeast Comprehensive School. And Nigel, what they did before.
That's an entrance.
the grand entrance, the songs that they
Yes.
choose and the dance that they do together. Wow. And even at the primary
It
school
wasn't
level,
really
and at preschools
Even at
as
the
well.
primary level, I saw
Yes,
the Castle
yes.
Bruce Primary School,
Yeah.
doing their thing in terms of how they entered and the dance that they did.
Mm-hmm,
So even
Yeah.
that, yes. I wanted to find out from all three of you though. Typically, you find that once you get into third form, you begin to decide whether you go into sciences or
Yeah.
business, or arts, or whatever the case is. Was that a similar experience for you guys, or from the very beginning you kind of knew that I wanted to pursue the sciences, I wanted to do business? Or
Yeah.
when did that decision come for you? I can start with any one of you. In that case, let me just start with Lizanne.
Well, I did both sciences and business, but I'm mainly a science student. I want to be a forensic scientist. So
Beautiful.
the sciences were the main, but I did principles of business in the afternoon. I always knew that that's what I wanted to do. Not necessarily that career, but I'm a science student at heart. So sciences for sure. And I wanted to do business to have something to fall back on if my plans change.
Okay.
Interesting. Kayla, what about you?
Well, I wasn't too sure as to what I wanted to be at the start, but then as I came further up in high school, I decided like businesses would be the best for me. I also wanted to go into architecture, but I wasn't too sure, so I picked sciences, and I also picked all business subjects and all science subjects. So I don't know what the future holds, but right now I think of doing like businesses.
Okay. Noah, tell us
Noah?
about you.
So yeah, I think love for science has always been ingrained in me. So the decision came easy. I chose sciences, and I don't regret that decision, because not only are they really interesting subjects, chemistry, bio, and physics, but I also had really good teachers, so that was something I'm really thankful for. But yeah.
Nigel, go ahead, Nigel.
No. I was just going to say in terms of next step, college and so on. I mean, and maybe what you want to be. Any thoughts on that already?
I'm not sure yet, but maybe something art or computer related.
Nigel, let's look at what's happening on the book, and we may have to go to the first life as well, because remember the life ended and then we had to restart. So let us get some of the comments.
Yes.
from
Because
the
we had to
people
go, so we might have to go back to when the first
to the
look at
first
all the
life,
comments.
to the first
that was
life, and
there.
then yes, because we
Yes,
had a
but
lot
Ashante Alexander says we're back on. Thanks. Albin was saying nowadays days kids stay inside on their phone, so that's why they're so inside and not within the community. And then he wanted to ask them what they plan to major in college, which we kind of just asked a little bit about that. Let's see if we can go back to the first one though, to the first live, and see if there were lots of comments there. Whilst
Yes.
I'm doing that though, Miguel, as somebody involved in student engagement, recruiting, and so on, as the executive director, Miami-Dade College over there, you heard from the students there in terms of their almost like, I'm not sure, I'm going to do sciences, I'll probably do business. It's a good mixture. And so is that something that, students kind of struggle with, and then to find the actual path that they want to follow?
Yeah, it's a mix. You may have, like Noah, you know, early thought about what it is he aspires to be and or what he wants to major in, and same with Lizanne and really Kayla. I think they all have a sense, but this is the natural time where you may not necessarily be sure, and that's okay too. I think now is the time where you have conversations with mentors, with college advisors, right? Folks that have been down that road to get a sense of, what it could look like, and what it could look like for you, and to if you're interested in architecture, I just I immediately thought of my younger brother, Fitz Murphy, who did architecture, teaches. So definitely want to connect you with him, and at the state college here and every other educational institutions, my advice is to you all, and to everyone, reach and ask, get a tour or of some sort, have the conversations, and there are also assessments that can be taken, formal assessments, to help determine what your interests might be, based on right how you answer those questions. So it may be business, yours is interesting, you did the sciences, and you wanted a backup, which actually what happened to me. I did the sciences, started with math, went all the way, and then I found out I love building groups, group dynamics, teams, putting together things, building community, and so I ended up in management, then in global management at the master's level, then in enrollment management, which is the heart and soul of the work that I do in the educational environment. So. But there are folks too that along the way will mentor you and have an interest, and I think you also need to have a keen eye for recognizing those individuals who want to provide that support, and connect you to the resources that they've already accumulated. So I think it's a mix of I know what I want to do. And if you do, that's great. We spoke the other night. I mean, we happened to meet because I attended the final assembly for forms 1 to 4, just being naturally at the school for the week, and then I met Noah's younger brother, who accumulated some awards as well, and I attended the rehearsal for the St. Mary's Academy, and I learned that you were the valedictorian, and then we met coincidentally. So and then we had that conversation of what's next, what's coming, what's he's interested in. So immediately I was thinking of the alumni, because we do have for St. Mary's Academy a formal alumni entity, the St. Mary's Academy Alumni Infrastructural and Development Fund. And while we are focused on the infrastructure, we're focused also on the holistic aspect, right, of supporting the school, not just the brick and mortar of the buildings, but essentially the mentorship and such. So my biggest mentors right now, to be honest, are Nigel Francis's of the world,
Yes, sir.
right, the Alvin Thomases of the
Nigel
world.
Newman.
Yeah, Ackroyd Birmingham. I mean, Rennick Thomas. These guys. I mean, in a full day, they will offer their just the outreach, which I think makes a difference. And so you will find those individuals who give you that sort of initial. It could be a business card, but in these days, what I do is LinkedIn. I'll try to connect as quick as possible, get your number, and send you a message on WhatsApp, and stay connected, and leverage that connection. So again, to students everywhere, whether you're certain at what it is you want to do, or you're not certain, have those conversations. Try to take an assessment, visit, like the state college or a college, and there's free resources typically around career and college readiness, which is the space that I work in. So
Very,
hopefully
very.
that helps.
Nigel, you know, by the way, Miguel brought gifts for every for every student here. Miguel came bearing gifts, you know.
Yeah, he does that. He
Yes,
does that.
and I got my package,
And
of course, before, but
Yeah.
Miguel came bearing gifts.
did he give you an honorary pin, SMA pin?
I got everything before, Nigel.
Oh, you got
I got a
everything. You
bag
got
of
everything.
goodies.
You got your bag of
Yes, of
goodies.
goodies.
Yes.
I did not
Yes.
get a
Miguel
gift
comes
today, though,
prepared.
but that's okay. That's all right. But Nigel, I really love his role here. I like that vibe, Nigel. I like that setup. The fact that we can have the students and we have Miguel, you know, a young man as
Yes.
well, giving them advice. So this ties in nicely to what we wanted to do, Nigel. And I think it gave me an idea as well. We'll discuss, you know, after the program in
Sure.
reference to, you know, some of the guests and how we can go forward and who we can incorporate into discussions
Incorporate
that we
in terms
have.
of being the
Yes,
there wise.
so we can make something
Yes.
happen. We can make something happen. What's happening in
Yes,
the book,
yes.
Nigel? What's happening in
Well,
the book?
I mean, Ashanta Alexander Delaware, that's you put all your whole name out there, but I'm Delani.
Mm.
So it's stating that you did not get an opportunity to give your valedictorian speech, Lizanne. Is that what happened? You were not able to give your speech at the graduation?
Correct.
Okay, was the technical difficulties or?
No, this is just that the student of the year gave the vote of
Okay.
thanks instead.
I guess it was the school's decision, Nigel, to do
Okay,
this.
okay, school decision. Okay,
yeah.
okay, all right.
This, yeah.
So if you had given that speech, what are some of the things you'd have wanted to say?
Well, I think her speech was very well executed. So it pretty much summed up everything that I would have probably said. Anyway, but for me, it would have been important to basically summarize our journey, not just mine, but all of us, the fifth form graduating class. And also, I guess, give them advice as to how to go forward, and thank those who have helped us along the way.
Okay. Nigel, that's an interesting question as well from Alvin Thomas. You know, I intended for us to look at later in the program just before we end, but let me just bring it across if you want to deal with it now.
Sure.
Nigel and I want to ask, how do they intend to give back to the alma mater and to continue the legacy of their school? That's a very interesting question, and obviously, you know, this is something that we have explored in recent programs. So
Yes.
it's a good time to maybe ask them that question, or we want to leave this for later just before we end.
Well, we can go ahead. I mean, if it's interactive.
And it ties in with something that
Let's
Miguel would have
ties in-
said earlier on as well.
Yes.
And Miguel really
Yes.
embodies this, giving back, especially to his alma mater. So we can look at this as well.
Yes, we can look at that because we've been exploring the whole thing of giving back, and we have the class of '98, the class of '89, alumni infrastructure fund, all these different groups that's giving
Yes.
back.
Yes, giving
So
back,
we can
especially at
ask
the
them, I mean,
graduation
how-
ceremonies. Yes.
How do you guys? How important is it that you feel? How important is it to you, of giving back to the school that you spent your 5 years? That's the first part of the question, and the second part is how you intend to do it. So the first part is, how important is it for you that you feel how important is it to give back to your school? You spent 5 years there. Who wants to go first?
Anyone can take the first shot. I
Take
mean,
the lead.
when you look at when
take a
you
shot at it. Okay, Kayla, go ahead. How important do you feel it is to give back to your school, Kayla?
I feel like it's very important to
just pick up a little. Let's hear you loud and clear.
give back to the school. Actually.
I'm not hearing you. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, represent grammar school.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I feel like it's important to give back to the school that you spent 5 years in. It would show your appreciation for the teachers and the overall school compound that you went to. How I would do it, I'm not sure as yet.
That's okay.
Well, I used to be involved in arts a lot, so maybe I could go back and help out with the arts room and help children to with different techniques in painting and other stuff.
Nice. And Lizanne, same thing. How important it is, and how do you feel that you can give back?
I think it's very important, especially as having just graduated, I have seen how much help the past students have done and how they have contributed to the school in so many different ways, especially at the graduation. Majority, if not all of the, no, majority of the awards were sponsored by past students. So I think it's very important, and it helps the students to feel appreciated, feel accomplished, and so I think it's a very good initiative. I have not yet thought of how I would want to give back to Convent High School, but I think that I would in some way or another.
One of the good ways to start is a class organization, association, something like that. So you set up,
Yes.
class of 2025. Nigel, imagine this, eh? So like it's like for me, but I never say no. What year again I graduated? I'm leaving that alone.
That's alone. You have to say class of
But no,
what?
you have to say class of 2025. Imagine this. Yeah. So yes, you are form an association, a little group, and give back in that way as well.
And then you also have, alumni associations that are already been formed that you can become part of, That's another area of opportunity.
And even individually, you may be part of a group, yes, but you can also give individually. So you may want to give a subject prize or whatever it is you want to contribute to the school. Of course, you can do that. Noah, what about you?
So yeah, I think especially if you had a good school experience, it's definitely good to preserve that for future students. And even if you didn't have the best school experience, maybe by giving back, you can allow future students to maybe have a better one than you did. And so I think giving back is something that's important. And in terms of how I'm going to give back, like was mentioned, we have the Alumni Association, the Class of 1989, all those different groups. I'd definitely be open to joining one of those.
All right, so I know Miguel has already made contact with you, so you'll be part of that alumni infrastructure development fund. I don't
Nigel-
think Miguel is going to allow you to slip by.
Yeah. But Nigel, even before you go with the next question, let me just bring on someone we have, our producer. He's there with Papa. Elise, you have to call next, eh? Hi, good morning.
Yeah,
Connect to the dots.
He just
Good morning, Ivona and Nigel.
Hi.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're fine,
We're good. We're good.
Here's the house rule. Here's the house rule. Please do not mention the name of your school. But you
I'll
can
try not to. But this is the old boy of St. Mary's Academy. And first of all, I just want to say congratulations to all these young creative minds that graduated over the last couple of days from the various high schools in Dominica. I think that speaks well for the schools and for Dominica overall.
Yeah.
I think we are in a very good place. There is hope. And when I looked at the various graduation ceremonies that were held, I can safely say that we have some really great, creative and intelligent young people that would help with the development of Dominica. I also want to say in a special way publicly to say thank you to Miguel, SMA Old Boy, for the work that he has been doing, he continues to do, not just for SMA, but for general education, for education in general. He has done a very exceptional work in that regard, and for that we are very thankful and grateful. I know for a fact he attended several graduations while in Dominica and spent quite some time in at St. Mary's Academy. And obviously, Ivona, I would not end this intervention by not asking and making an appeal to all the St. Mary's Academy old boys out there, wherever you may be, wherever you're listening, that we expect you to give back to your alma mater. We have a fund and we are onto a project, as Nigel said, not just infrastructural structure, but a holistic development of St. Mary's Academy. And we expect every SMA old boy, wherever you are, any part of the globe, to contribute to your alma mater. And I think I can say the same to other old boys and old girls from the other schools to be able to give back to your alma mater.
Yeah.
So thank you and congratulations again to all this young, intelligent, and creative mind. Go ahead and start your journey. As they say, the sky's the limit.
Well, thank you, Alvin. Thank you for all what you continue to do for us. Last year, I was very much involved in something I did not want to be involved in because of you and Nigel. But I'm happy that Miguel came around and Miguel is doing what he has to do.
We have a lot more to do, Ivona. Don't you worry. I'll be calling you. We got a couple more ideas to pursue. Have a great day. Thanks.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
She does. But yes, thanks, Alvin. Appreciate those words there, especially as it relates to giving back,
Yeah.
to your alma mater. And I think, what kind of mention in a way sometimes, in a way, if your experience at the school was good, I may find some students who probably feel like, what, my 5 years are over. Thank you, goodbye.
And we mentioned that in a program, earlier. We mentioned that
Yes,
a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you, bye bye. I don't want to see you again, because maybe they didn't have the kind of emotional attachments that others may have. So Miguel, giving back to your alma mater, how important that is.
Extremely. Let me first start by thanking alumnus Dr. Oren Jolly and the Jolly family and Jolly's Family Limited for the $10,000 donation to the St. Mary's Academy Alumni Infrastructural and Development Fund for the roof rehabilitation project for the academy. And to me, it's near and dear. About a decade ago, for example, I visited. I think it was coincidentally around Tropical Storm Erica, and I visited. And usually, when I come on island, one of the first places I'll go is the high school. Always welcoming. So I would share some advice. Don't forget your high school. You don't need an invitation to go there. Show up. Stay in touch in terms of the activities. Actually, it best because you have the freshest recollection of the activities that occurred. Like I drove by Convent last night, I saw there was an activity. I didn't know about it. I'm sure you did. So things like that, you could offer some insight on perhaps how it happened, like the structure behind it, the resources that were garnered to make that possible. So I think you have some institutional knowledge that we don't want to lose. One thing I was telling Noah's brother Lucas yesterday, because he was an usher, is that and this morning, thankfully, I got a yearbook for 2025. So I'll go back to what I was going to say, but your yearbooks, you may have at least one of them or several of them. Keep those. Keep your, because you want to know who your classmates are. You don't want to forget them. You may you may do the state college for 2 years and then move on, get a scholarship and go abroad, whether it's the UK, Canada, the United States. We're ready to welcome you in any of those locations, but don't forget, your classmates, because I think not everyone has those same opportunities. And sitting at the very top of your class, you will be going places. I have one student in one of the programs that I lead, which is the Rising Scholars Program at Miami-Dade College, which has, was actually interestingly incepted during COVID. So our first class, they came in with masks, but these are young, bright, talented students that we, ensure that they get every support that they need when they come into college, including a laptop, free tuition, etc., and the mentorship. And they have a success team around admissions and financial aid and the holistic part, which is mental health, or student well-being, and because life can get stressful too, and so that has to you need folks to be able to talk to when things are occurring. So we have, I believe, a great model within that program. But one of the students, Jeannie, just mentioned that you will be going places that your parents and your family members haven't. You're the trailblazers. So while that is happening, and I'm confident with you all, it will happen. You want to make sure you're still in tuned and you're bringing others up as you elevate. And that, I think, starts with your high school. And so for me, going back to the happy days, I think there's no other institution on the island that I identify strongly with other than my high school. So as I'm learning, as I'm getting mentored, as I'm meeting new folks, I'm proud to share with the world what high school I went to, who was my principal, who were my teachers, who were my classmates, etc. And I think everything else kind of falls into place because your institution probably it's the one that will create a reunion 20 years from now, 10, etc. SMA will be celebrating 100 years in 2032. So I'm looking forward to supporting a multi-generational graduates. Or I know we have class of 89 and 75, but I think that will give an opportunity for all of us to come together. So in summation, because I have a lot of notes there around alumni, just stay in touch with your high school, your teachers, keep them posted, your principal. Things may change at the high school. You want to know. You want to know if a teacher retired, especially if it's your favorite teacher. Yesterday, there was a celebration for one of our teachers at the academy, because you may think they're there, but they're not. Mr. Elwin, a decade ago, passed away. May his soul rest in peace. Former principal and my form teacher. I was there for that, and I was able to thankfully attend his homegoing. And so this is an example of a panel discussion. So keep that fire blazing in terms of representing your institution proudly, because you may go on to the State College, then Midwestern State or Miami-Dade College or Florida International University or University of Central Florida or Monroe. I mean, we have a lot of institutions that I'm sure you will probably have the opportunity to share your talent with, right? And some of our alumni has graced the halls of Harvard University, University of Florida, and a lot of remarkable institutions in the U.S., Canada, and U.K. And really join the association off immediately. Don't wait, make time pass before you get formally involved, and I think that will give you the mentorship, because you have folks who definitely have achieved and have some good words and advice to share with you in those associations. So keep that in mind. For the academy, we, and Alvin, thank you for you leading the gesture. I was proudly acknowledged. I thought Noah was getting the prize, and then I was surprisingly called up to be acknowledged by my institution, and that was truly humbling to do that. And I think if you keep your institutions at heart, that will eventually also be the case. And there's ways to give your time. You may not always have the funds, but you have the time and the expertise. And technology, I think, and AI, you mentioned, Ivona, is where it's at. And at my institution, we are an artificial institution, ready institution. I mean, ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, these are my friends. And I think just to speak to that, there's the ethical use of it. Definitely you don't want ChatGPT writing your paper and not giving credit and such. But there are folks who run these platforms, and if you have that expertise, definitely lend that to your high school and such. So there's much more I could say around the alumni world.
I know, definitely. I
And
know when it
giving
comes
back.
to alumni and giving back.
Yes. But stay in touch and stay connected, and by doing that, I think you will know what the needs of your school is, right?
I
And
like this. I
yeah.
like this. Stay in touch. Stay connected. Do not forget your classmates, and that is good advice here from you, Miguel. And I'm sure the young people are taking this in, and not only the people who are listening as well. It's always good to give back to your alma mater. And let me just big up, of course, the class of '87, Gloria Walsh, Lioness Walsh, and the others. Rebecca Corriett, and so many others involved in that. Because we continue to give back to the Dominica Grammar School, I can tell you that much. We have given back a lot, and we continue to give back to the Dominica Grammar School. And not just giving back. There's a presence there as well. The pastoral care program. The mentorship program, and other programs that we are involved in. At the end of the graduation, end of the school year for the students when they graduate. The class of '87, always they're giving away prizes. Prizes for perseverance and overcoming challenges, and subject prizes. So it's always good to give back. Find a way to give back to your alma mater. Make that connection. Do not forget your classmates. Nigel, I can remember all my classmates, by the way, and where they sat. I can still remember. Yes. I can still when I forget, I know I'm losing my memory.
I can remember quite a few. Yes.
Yeah. So it's always good to connect.
I can remember quite a few who I studied with from first form all the way to fifth form.
But it won't come
and beyond.
It did not come immediately, though. It took a few years, a lot of years, to really, get back to form that organization and realize the importance of it. But when you can,
and then what you'll find too is as you move on to college, whether it's state college outside, whether UWE or Miami-Dade, Florida, wherever you go, you will start to gather new friends again, new connections. So you'll be building your network.
And sometimes the classmates you probably never had any long talk with, you all were just not friends at school. That classmate can become your best friend later on in life, it could be at college, at university, wherever. So it's always good to remember your classmates.
Yes. But I'm going to give each of them an opportunity to give back to their school right now. You see how quick it is?
Yes.
I'm going to give you the chance. So we're going to give you the chance right now to give back to your school.
By the way, Nigel, quickly on the live, let me just big up as well. Cheryl Plummer. Cheryl Plummer is doing wonderful things, Nigel. I'm sure you know Cheryl Plummer. I really have to big her up. She's giving back not just to her school, to so many people, young people. And I really have to big you up, Cheryl. I asked her to be on a program once, and I think I have to ask her again, because we really have to highlight the work of what Cheryl Plummer is doing. She's doing so much. Carl Kofi James is saying, Ivona, don't worry, something like that. DGS Old Boy is there with you. Yes. So
and Rosman Ismail wants to say congratulations to Miguel. You're making Maho proud. And also want to mention that we should have Miguel as a special guest on the program by himself, because he has so much to offer. Someone earlier mentioned that the Ministry of Education should try to get in touch with Miguel while he's on island, just to have discussion.
But Miguel is going back very soon.
He has so much to offer, and so hey, Miguel, listen.
But Miguel, Nigel,
go with the flow and take it along as best as you can.
Nigel, whilst we are on that though, I mean, Miguel is one of, in terms of promoting, connecting the dots, I think Miguel has it down to a T. That things that we do not even do, Nigel and Ivona, Miguel has it covered. So rest assured, as soon as the fly is out, Miguel will promote this extensively, Nigel. And sometimes I just wonder, wow, what is in his DNA that makes him just want to help people and want to do things like that. I
think what it is I think Miguel has found a way to like his personal and professional life is almost like intertwined.
All right, that's it.
When he's doing what he's doing, it's almost like Miguel doing it, but it's also part and parcel of what he does on a daily basis at Miami-Dade.
So Miguel did not only attend graduation ceremonies whilst on island. He wrote about the ceremonies. He gave a synopsis.
Yes.
He put everything in one, Nigel. And I was like, what is this? Like, a true reporter just giving you the true essence of what happened if you were not there. And even if you were there, you capture this.
And his focus, as you know, is always on education, and that's the good thing about it. Always ensuring that we can see the best out of that. So I'm gonna give you guys a chance to give back to your school right now. that's so it's part of giving back. So very simple, Kayla. You've been through the grammar school for 5 years. This is your opportunity to give back. What would you like to see happen at the grammar school? Is there any change you would like in terms of subject matters? Do you think that they should have more subject, less subjects? Do you think there should be more sports? Do you think they should have more clubs? Do you feel that students should get involved in clubs more? What would you like to give back to your school now? If you have the opportunity to say, I want to change this or I want to encourage this, what would you say?
Grammar school is
And Lizanne and Noah, you can think about yours as well as
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
question.
well, what I saw is that grammar school has a lot of clubs. They have a lot of sports. They take part in their sports a lot. I feel like more children should join the clubs because the clubs are kind of helpful. I was in the French club and we did many things. I even got to visit a cruise ship one of these days. It has the choir where you get to experience different competitions. It feels amazing to be a part of these groups and to socialize more, and you can grow and become leaders of these clubs and experience more.
Excellent. You see, that was your way of giving back to your school already, just 2 days after you've left, a couple of days after you've left. Lizanne, what about you?
I'd say overall, the Convent High School is a very good institution that helps to mold students into well-rounded individuals. They provide a very good system for academic learning as well as sports life and club involvement. We have so many clubs, and generally you find that almost every student in the Convent High School, mainly from intermediate to seniors, are involved in clubs. So we have a very good club life. But I'd say if anything to improve or to implement would be the merit system. At one point, I think it was functioning, but throughout my time at Convent High School, it was not a thing. So I think it would be important to and beneficial to the students to bring back the merit system, and especially as the demerit system is working. A lot of students can tell you that, but the merit system is not. So I think if anything to improve, it would be to bring back the merit system.
I like that, Lizanne. What about the merit system? What is so beneficial you think to have the merit system? You have the demerits. So what's so beneficial to have the merit?
Well, with the demerits, it shows at the end of the school year or the term on your report card, and it lets the parents know, for whatever infraction that their child was involved in. So the same way, if it's there for the negative side of things, I think it should be there for the positive as well. I will not say that students are not rewarded for their good work or their service at the community high school. They are, but I think it's mainly at stuff like graduation or at the end or at the beginning of the school year to reward you for the previous school year. But with the merit system in place, I think it would be an ongoing system that helps students to get rewarded for small things, small everyday things that can improve the school life, improve the environments that we are engaged in at school. And I think it would overall encourage students to do small good deeds that would help our school life and how we treat each other.
That's good.
Beautiful, beautiful. See, right there, you've come up with some suggestion to the rest of the Convent High School, and they're listening as to how they can get back to the merit system. You've just given back so much. Noah, what about you?
Okay, so my first general sort of infrastructural gripe with SMA is that a lot of the classrooms don't have fans, so I just think that some emphasis should be placed on allowing proper ventilation and cooling for the classrooms. Like, earlier in the year, or late last year, my class had to pull together money from everyone. We pulled together money to buy a proper fan, and so yeah, while that was great, it really improved spirit among my classmates and my peers. I do think it shouldn't have been necessary, and also I think there could be more clubs, as well as subject options. I understand that the school day isn't that long. It's quite short compared to other schools, 8 to 1. So it doesn't allow that much time for a lot of different subjects during the regular school day. But you always have, after that, like into the afternoon, a lot of teachers are available from extra classes and so on. And so I think some extra subjects could be fitted in, as well as clubs. I saw in the last year they added the table tennis club, which I really appreciate. Table tennis is fun and it's a sport that I like. But I'd love to see maybe a fencing club or a wrestling club. So yeah.
Interesting, Nigel. Interesting. See what's going on from this?
Yes. Do you think we should increase the school day from like maybe 8 to 2 instead of 8 to 1? Is that something you would probably want to suggest?
It's normally that though, or more, or even later. I know.
Yeah,
I mean, like formally, because I mean, we know
formally,
after
okay.
one, there's
Alright.
things goes on, but yeah. So the actual school day now becomes 8 to 2, and you can fit in some of the subjects that you're talking about. Is that something you'd want to suggest, or?
Well, I think the current system is working for SMA so far. So
Okay.
I think it's fine if they continue with that. But because while the school day is short, they do balance it with a lot of extra classes in the afternoon and so on that aren't always optional. Like, especially in the 4th and 5th forms, you have mandatory afternoon classes. So calling it 8 to 1 for those forms might be inaccurate. But yeah, I think the current system is fine.
Okay, and you see how they were able to give back, Miguel. They got together and to raise some funds and get a fan. And even whilst at school, they were trying to give back. And now they're, Noah's going to give back as well as best as he can. Thoughts on that, Miguel?
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. And also during my time, and that's noble of you, Noah, and your class, in terms of, immediately solving that issue. The brother, it just brought back to me, we were, during my time, we were going on bell marches and, banding together as a whole school, really, to raise funds to build that new wing. And I was fortunate in my final year to actually experience using the classroom as a fifth former. But when I started, it was A1 and A2, and there was a little building next to the wing. They took away one, and in 4 years, that was brought up. But to all of you, I mean, that's I'm a club guy, so definitely, in terms of assessing the clubs in each of the schools, and seeing how that can be elevated. I have some good friends that do wrestling and fencing on my side, so perhaps we can bring them into the conversation in terms of what facilities could accommodate something like that.
And trust me, Mika will follow up on that. He's not just saying that.
Yeah.
Oh, we will.
Mr. Ripple O'Connor, I'll be talking to you. Ripple is the director of our Horizon Scholars Program, so and wrestled in his alma mater. So definitely, those are good suggestions from all of you, and immediate ways to give back. And you can count on me to help you have those conversations and to bring along your classmates, right? Because really, in the workplace, and as you all were mentioning, so I have my close classmates and not so close. And I would say the close ones were actually the ones I did all my we actually had, there was science and business, so close with all the science ones. And business, I didn't have too many friends in there. But in the workplace, you'll have colleagues, and you will have to collaborate and coexist. And I think your classmates, whether close or a little distant, it's a good example of what the real world looks like. So I wouldn't steer you away from embracing all, and because everyone eventually will have an expertise, and those are the individuals, I think, right? Whether it's in IT, AI, the architecture, they can build things, they can create things. This morning, my best friend, I broke my glasses. I slept on it last night, and then his daughter actually, she's like, I can fix that. And she went to work and she glued it. It looked perfect. So, I say that to say that we all have strengths, right? And definitely we can tap into the strengths of our ecosystem and network. And I think it starts with our family, friends, and classmates, church mates, neighbors, etc. And but Noah and I connected already, so
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So that's it. So,
Yeah.
so he's involved. Okay.
Yes,
All
and
right.
to the point of giving back, the St. Mary's Academy has distributed. You see these lovely pins. Actually, it's on this side to every graduate and every teacher, every administrator at the school this year, to really encourage every graduate to show that pride in your alma mater, and hopefully we'll see them at every school in the near future and at next year's ceremonies.
So you got a pin, you said?
Yes. So Noah he got his pin.
So
and that
interesting.
Yeah, it's a symbol, right, of your 5 years, and really a representation and a gift from you, show that we're there for you. And all the graduates of this year and beyond.
That's good. That's really good. And let me see, Gloria. So Gloria Walsh, we have work to do. We're not going to copy SMA, obviously, but we have
it's
work.
a good thing to copy. To have
There's,
a pin. That's
there's
okay.
a new idea that we can discuss moving forward for the Dominica Grammar School. The
That's
greatest of
okay.
all
You can
builders.
copy to have the pin. We already have the contacts, and we'll just process the thing. Miguel will just make sure it happens. That's okay.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean anyway.
And we've developed a short survey for those, and we hope they all are. It's this year we had 52 graduates at the St. Mary's Academy. All of them got a letter from the chairman, and that has a QR code with just a brief survey of signing up to join us on the journey, because it's really all of you will encounter a lifetime of learning. And so I think educational institutions put some structure to that, whether it's 8-to-1 or 8-to-2 or informally 8-to-1. I believe a lot of the learning happens in the informal spaces, and then you do need those structured ones where you have time with your teachers in the different subject areas. But really, the mentorship and the time away, it's where I think it all happens through studying and tutoring, and hopefully all of you will be tutors, and that's another way to give back, help someone that might not need that help. You all got a lot of awards in different subject areas, so that's a start to even know what areas you're good at, right, and where you can give back. So give back in the subject areas, and to another thought that's coming, that a lot of our benefactors, right, invest in those subject areas. I would venture to say partner with you, reach out to them, well, thank them separately, maybe write a letter, because they might have a job for you after. But really, to the networking part, it's you can begin that initiation of thanking a benefactor that may have contributed to your individual subject award. And I think that opens a little bit of doors. Maybe they can give an internship, a shadow when they say. Maybe they can invite you to the business to actually shadow someone who has experience in what you're interested in. So
Good advice there from Miguel. Nigel, I'm looking at the time. It's that time for us to end. I'm looking at the live as well. And Jack Cox is saying, Miguel, your family in the US. Jack Cox. Miguel, your family in the USA and Canada. Very proud of you. Keep up the good work. And I think there was an earlier message from Rosamond. I can't remember the last name, but she says
Ismail.
Mahu is very proud of you as well. So Wow, wow, wow. Look, Alvin Thomas is saying, I hope we can work together on the idea. Um, yeah, we can work together
Yes,
on
we
the
can.
idea as
Yes,
long
of
as you
course
leave
we
out
can work
SMA
together.
from
Yeah.
it. That's all right. That's
Yes, we
okay.
can, but listen, man, it's always nice when we
Wow.
can connect
Mm-hmm.
with our folks and we can, do this inspiration here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the three of you, you are in a sense almost trailblazers. You are the top here, and you are heading on to the next phase of your journey. Whether it's in Dominica or outside, but you're heading to the next phase of your journey. So congratulations on that. Want to wish you all the best on the next phase. As we end, are you more excited about the next phase, or are you more nervous, or what is it that you're feeling about the next phase of your journey as you wind up and give us your final thoughts? Kayla, starting with you.
I feel more excited to know what it might be like in the outside. Um, I would like to know where I would reach in life and what I would be. Um, and and I'm actually happy that I finally finished with high school and I get to move on to a new chapter and experience more outside and socialize more, meet new people, and yeah.
Are you planning on state college, or are you planning on working, taking a break? What are you, what, any?
I plan on going to college straight.
Okay,
Okay.
beautiful, beautiful. And Lizanne, final thoughts in terms of, are you more nervous, more excited? What are you looking forward to, and so on?
I think it's a mix of all emotions. I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm sad, I'm happy. It's a bit of all. And in terms of my future, I have not yet exactly decided, but most likely I'll be attending music college.
Okay. Noah?
All right, and Noah?
Yeah, I think there is a lot of eagerness. I'm pretty eager to see where the road takes me, and I most likely will be attending school in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful. Keep that connection, as Miguel mentioned. And Miguel, pleasure as always to connect. And I can't ask you in terms of the next phase because I know what that is. Your next phase is at Miami Dade and continuing to encourage others there. But final thoughts.
No, it's been really a singular honor to be back on island this past week, working from my high school as if I were in my office in South Florida, but through technology advancements and means, I've been able to do that, and being able to attend many of the graduations, observe them. Again, technology has made it possible to view the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School's graduation. The convent high school I was able to attend. I was on a flight down while the grammar school one was going on, but I was able to catch it. After Wesley High School, my mother is an alumna of Wesley High School, so it was another honor to sit there on her behalf, right? During that ceremony, and the principal, thank you, Miss Krishna.
Rabes Telemark.
Yes, Rabes Telemark for the invitation, and really a decade ago giving me the opportunity to speak to the young men at the academy at the time in her classroom. So we've maintained that connection, and I am looking forward to supporting Wesley High School and other high schools as well outside of the academy in a big way. So SMA was a convent was excellent. I loved your two things. We worked so hard. We have Legend stood out, and a big fan of Chronics, and we worked so hard. We have to party. So I enjoyed your class performances, and yesterday, of course, St. Mary's Academy honoring me alongside students like Noah was really humbling. So a final thought for the graduates: I'm here. The Alumni Association is here, and I know we're having conversations around a global association that will link all of the schools, and you can count on me to help move that along, so that we can really retain the talent of the island. And again, you will go places, but just remember your roots.
Yeah. Okay, so Nigel, that's what we have to end.
Yes.
It was really a pleasure doing this, and that gives me more ideas in terms of how we move forward with other programs as well, Nigel. Always a pleasure to come here on a Saturday, and especially when you have young people. It's really something that I look forward to every Saturday. But to hear from the young people, and to hear the advice as well from Miguel, who is young himself, this says a lot about the program. And I just want to congratulate each and every one of you. The world is your oyster. Do your best. Persevere. Just move with a sense of purpose. Grab education, children. There's so much waiting for you. There's so much, Nigel,
Yes,
well,
yes.
I
and
enjoyed
of course,
today's program. Yes,
I can tell you're still Pulse fan, grab
of
education,
course, of
children.
course. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yes, but definitely, man, it's always nice connecting on a Saturday and sharing and learning and inspiring and reflecting and all the rest of it. So we appreciate you guys. Congratulations, continued success on your journey. Stay in touch with us. Stay connected. Stay connected to Miguel, Ivor, and myself. Stay connected amongst yourselves. Let's continue to build this network.
So Nigel, we'll do it again next week. I think.
We'll do it again next week as always, madam.
So next week will be a 2-part program, because let me tell you something. It's overwhelming
Yes.
in terms of the requests that we have, but we look forward to Laplane next week. Laplane reunion is coming up.
Laplane reunion is coming up.
And
Yes.
we were supposed to have Scott's reunion as well. I think it started yesterday. We could not have them on Connecting the Dots, but they were on radio and social media platforms at other times. So I'm happy that we gave them that opportunity as well. So we wish them all the best. But we look forward to next week. We'll have 2 parts as well next week.
We connect again, my dear. All the best.
All right, take care. All the best to all of you. Thank you. It was okay? You enjoyed it? All right, nice.